Hey, and welcome back to my Beautiful Anger series. Today, we're going to talk about how you can overcome anger and frustration by transforming it into personal power, aliveness, and courage. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 potent and powerful exercises that you can take action on right away, so make sure that you stick with me until the end of the video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Luana Rose from luanarose.com, trauma specialist helping heart-centered leaders transform their trauma into purpose, power, and pleasure. I put out new videos every Tuesday, so make sure that you're subscribed, and let's get into this. Now, before we begin, we need to unpack a little bit of the belief system that we all share in the realm of this topic. We've been taught since we were young ones that any expression of anger is socially unacceptable, that we need to ignore it, that it makes us weak, that it's not a feminine thing. We'll feel out of control or overwhelmed if we do get angry, or even worse, we'll be punished or become a social outcast. Now let's take a moment to notice this. Our society says we value high achievement, hard-headedness, the ability to push through and swallow any emotional weaknesses. Point blank, anger is not a valid emotion. That is what society says. And our bodies say this. This is wreaking havoc on me. It's my birthright to own my personal power, and to do this, I need to take charge of my anger, taken on a hot date, and realize that this is my vitality, this is my life force and aliveness. Now, I want to know from you, what is this divide costing you? Here's my take. We feel stuck, we feel unmotivated, we feel ashamed that we get frustrated sometimes, broken for not knowing what to do with anger, and annoyed that it doesn't feel good to be consumed by our emotional state. Now, this is all a perfectly human experience. I absolutely get that anger can make us feel out of control and overwhelmed. And that's why I want to show you how you can tap into this super strong resource that's already inside of you. So let's get into how you can make anger your best friend and revolutionize your everyday life. So first things first, are you willing to look at anger, frustration, and rage in a new way? I get it. It's hard, it's scary, and guess what? It's healing. Let's go ahead and reframe our thinking. I've used these embodied practices to channel my anger with myself and clients for the past 6 years. And trust me when I say this, if you are willing to reframe the way you think about anger and aggravation, you'll learn that it can actually become your fuel for creativity, discipline, and bottom line, you'll feel more like yourself. Anger is a form of aggression, which is often associated with war, violence, projecting onto other people, or acting in a hostile way. But there is a much wider meaning behind aggression, which is partly instinctual and partly, philosophical. So it often gets ignored that aggression also means being assertive, being bold, vigorous, kind of like a samurai. if you will. It means having or showing determination. It is far more useful to sense one's anger as an aggressive or powerful energy that leads to bold, vigorous, or determined conscious action through the body rather than deny or suppress it. As Martin Luther King says, "I never work better than when I am inspired by anger. For when I am angry, I can write, pray, and preach well. For when my whole temperament is quickened, my understanding sharpened, and all mundane vexations and temptations depart." The truth is this: aggression is an instinctual energy that each human has access to. It is just like any other emotion: joy, sadness, excitement, being proud. When responding to a threat, which our body does when we don't feel safe, our body's chemistry does not define it as good or bad. It simply is. And it is essential to be able to tap into this aggressive energy. Now, what do I mean by threat? We don't have to defend ourselves against lions, tigers, or dragons, of course, but everyday stressors like nonstop schedules, our bosses or clients making ridiculously grandiose demands, or someone stepping over our personal boundaries, or simply not getting our needs met. This can all trigger our biological threat response and stir up frustration or anger in our bodies and in our lives. It's something that we feel and must allow to pass through us in order to evolve in a healthy and progressive way. The trick is to turn on the emotional tap a little bit at a time, which results in a greater capacity to let stress pass through you and more ease to be you, which is why we are all here in this wild human experiment in the first place. So now that we've reframed our mindset and gained perspective that our anger is actually completely acceptable and actually crucial to be the realest version of ourselves, let's get into the 3 potent exercises that you can do in your everyday life. Number 1, uncage your inner beast. So at the end of the day, we are all animals. It's simply our neocortex, that part of the brain that sets us humans apart from the rest of the animal kingdom. So this neocortex can actually inhibit our instinctual responses. So let's go ahead and take a page from the rest of the animal kingdom that doesn't have this part of the brain and learn how to get reacquainted with our instinctual responses to threat and stress. So begin by noticing your upper lip and invite it to curl up a bit. Don't force it, simply help it along, and imagine a wolf or a dog protecting its territory or its young ones. It would definitely snarl and curl its upper lip at anyone that comes close to their territory and their young ones. So embody your inner wolf or inner beast and get curious about this. There's no rush in making it all happen at once. You actually can't fabricate this to happen. The key is to feel the organic urge or impulse to come and let that lip curl up and see what happens. If you would like to make sounds with this, go ahead and do that. You can also notice your eyes might begin to narrow, like you're focusing on the threat. Feel your facial muscles and be with the energy that is coming up, rising from deep within you, and be with that. So it might look a little something like this. You can move your lip around and kind of explore the capacity that you have in your mouth. Just really get curious with it. A cool thing that not a whole lot of people are familiar with is we actually hold a lot of tension in our upper lip if we have repressed anger, which is like most of society. So if you ever feel like you have like frozenness or tension here, or like your upper lip kind of like get really small, probably means that this is something that would be super helpful in your life to explore, like a little bit at a time, like turning on a tap. Another thing is a jaw, like our jaw is, I love to play with this stuff. Your jaw is so integral in expressing anger because, as you'll see as we move on, the snarl and the jaw is how we respond to threats. So like if you think of a dog biting, so if you have tension in your jaw, this will really help by playing with these exercises and tools. So number 2, breaking necks isn't bad. What? Yeah, you heard me right. So this one's pretty fun. So grab a towel or a jacket that's thin enough that you can, I have a towel here that's thin enough that you can, this is like a hand towel, so fold it in half and make it so that you can hold it with your 2 hands, kind of like you're holding on to handlebars of a motorbike or a bicycle. And you don't have to hold it up here, I'm just doing this so that you can see it. And channel your anger through your body into the towel, through your arms, into your hands, like you're breaking someone's neck. And really feel in your arms, your hands, feel that snarl come up. You can do sounds here. And this might really challenge your muscle that society has built up for a really long time of, oh, I don't want to hurt anybody. You know, this is like what we've been conditioned to think and also repress these biological responses for a long time. So that might come up for you here, and that's totally cool. The thing to realize here is for the love of your physiology, this is only a towel, it's only a jacket. You are not hurting anyone. Your physiology will thank you so much for letting this energy pass through. So this last one, number 3, is called the power push. So if you're someone who is working on their boundaries, exploring what that is for you, or if you work on stage, public speaking, or just in general, taking up space, taking up your own personal space. This one is awesome. So find a wall where there's enough space around the wall, like no plants or furniture or anything in the way, where you can stand about 3 feet from the wall, and then put your hands on the wall as if you were to do a push-up on the wall, and call on your inner impulses again, feel that life force going through you and start to push on the wall. So you might have to take a few steps back and push on the wall, invite that snarl in, those sounds, and really experiment with this, have fun with it, be playful, and keep that energy focused in channeling that energy through your body, from your feet all the way up your torso and out through your arms, through your hands, and into the wall, because it's a wall. It doesn't really have feelings, so it's a great prop to use. These 3 potent and effective exercises are wonderful in transforming your anger or frustration into inner freedom and courage. And it's also super important to know that they can also act as floodgates that may or may not open a larger survival response if you've experienced trauma or overwhelming experiences in your past. So just be aware of this, and you might experience, this is kind of like, this work is a layer cake. It's very complex. So if you let out a little bit of anger, there's probably going to be other emotions underneath, like sadness, maybe grief, hopelessness. So just be aware that those other feelings and sensations might come up for you. It's also very important to do this in a safe place and do what feels good for you, because we're all on different parts of our journeys. So it's really important that you listen to your own body, go at your own pace, because you know what's best for you. So let's say you're at work and something is frustrating, maybe the computer program's not working and you're just like, oh, this is so annoying. I do that all the time. And wait till you get home to, push against that wall or squeeze that towel, or you can go to a private bathroom to do it. Or if you're in a place where it feels right for you, you can really embrace it in the moment. The thing is, if you do wait till you get home, don't worry, your survival or instinctual energy will still be there waiting to be expressed and pass through you. Let's say you want to go deeper in this work. I offer one-on-one coaching. So let's say this was super helpful, but you feel like you need a little extra guidance and a safe container where you can explore this. Send me a message and we can set up a Skype call or do an in-person session. Now, the most important takeaway from these 3 exercises is to actually feel your body doing the prompts in an organic way. So this means don't force them, for it will only be effective if you feel your natural impulses coming through and following your internal impulses. To drive this point home, anger is literally the gateway drug to true personal power and freedom. So have fun with this. Be playful, get curious, and really see what you discover. In this video, we unpacked our cultural mindsets about anger. We dipped into our biological responses and needs, and we touched on 3 exercises that'll ideally lead you to embody more of your inner fortitude, drive, focus, clarity, and creativity by becoming best friends with your anger and frustration. Now make sure you come back to this video anytime you need a little refresher and guidance with channeling your anger in a healthy, productive way. That wraps up this video. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm curious, what came up for you after watching this video? Are there takeaways that you can use in your daily life? As always, I absolutely love hearing from you, so be sure to comment below. Please like this video and share it with your friends. It's time to rise up and root down and truly embody the legend that you are meant to be. So let's get to it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!